When I was a teenager, in my teens, coming up to 20, I assumed that from what I could see, life meant that I would meet a girl, fall in love and get married and have children. And then in Ireland, that would be the end of that. I mean, that was it, life was over. I never really thought very much about the kind of work I wanted to do. I didn't really focus on any particular work. And I then found myself in my 20s moving to England because of work and beginning to train to be a psychiatric nurse. And finding out this was a place I liked being in this type of work. So I could see that mental health issues were attractive, and I liked working in that environment. And I liked the other people I met and the conversations we had. And at the same time, what I had with me all the time was, from the age of about maybe 16, I started reading existential philosophy. I became very involved in issues like life and death and meaning and the meaning of life, and decided when I was about 16, I think, that I probably wouldn't live much beyond 60. I decided that. Now this meant, so then when I met someone, met a Swedish woman in Ireland, we got married and I had started a family, and this really, really changed me. So being a father became extremely important to me. I still had the idea that I would not have a very long life. That was very clear in my mind. And I think that I got that from the existentialist thinking that I was involved in. With the death of my youngest son, it was a huge change. Suddenly, nothing was straight anymore. But I couldn't depend that next year I would know anything about, I wouldn't know anything now about next year, because that changed everything for me. I realized actually, when I was coming into my 50s and touching my 60s, that I actually enjoyed being alone. And it was the first time I could really say to myself, you know, I like being on my own. I've always thought I needed company, I needed other people, and now I discover I don't. I'm perfectly happy on my own. And then when I started making a career in Sweden, an academic career, and I had a regular income, and then I became a freelance academic and freelance consultant. My bank began chasing me to do what all Swedes do, which is to buy a pension insurance. And I insisted I would not buy a pension insurance because I wouldn't be alive at 65. And then 65 came, and then 70 came, and 75 came, and I'm still here. I'm almost disappointed. This is not what I expected. So I've come into this last phase of my life very unprepared for being here, and realized that no one ever told me that one of these days you'll grow old. And you know, your health will not be the same as it used to be, which is true. And I had a very bad period last year with my health. I was in and out of hospital a lot. Found that there was no way I could have prepared for this stage of my life, because other than to be here and to try and deal with it as it is from day to day. I am an old man who needs help to get in and out of a taxi. My mind can think of doing it, my body will not be able. And that's a really difficult time of life, when you realize that what you would like to do and what you are able to do is not the same. There is a strong theory in the Gestalt world called the paradoxical theory of change, which means that the best way for something new to happen is not to do anything, but to accept how you are as you are, and change will happen by itself. I've been trying more and more to simply accept that I can't do things that I thought I could do. And I used to like traveling, I used to like flying and so on. I don't like it anymore, it's too much trouble. Going through security in an airport drives me completely crazy. Such a total waste of time. And I can really feel myself saying, I do not have the time to go through with this nonsense now. I find myself caught again in the existential question of what is the meaning? What is the meaning of growing old? What is the meaning of not being able to do what I used to be able to do? I always come back with the answer, the meaning is that this is how things are. This is how I am. Live with it. Because I've looked closely at many people, writers and musicians and that I have admired, when they found that they were losing their powers, they committed suicide. I've decided, no matter how meaningless life becomes, I am happier with life deciding it's leaving me than me deciding I'm leaving life. So I'm still here. And I could be here for I don't know how long, but I'm still here. That's the way it is. Yeah. Find a balance between life is what you make it and letting life happen to you. If you can do both, move between those two so that you can surprise yourself with discovering something you hadn't thought of. I think that's probably the main point. And the second one is, and this really I've learned from my youngest son, my dead son. If something like a death occurs in the closest family, don't try to get over it. Grieve and mourn for as long as you need. And the third point would be, speaking from as a Gestalt practitioner, see if you can let your professional life and your personal life match each other. So that who you are and what you do is very close. 3 things.